the happiness. Again your thinking, and to stop creating nuisance problems on others. Again your thinking, and thinking is all psychology. How to make it the possible with conviction. So otherwise, be good, or don't do like this, don't do like that. Think proper, think positively. That's easy. But then, how to think positively? I don't get convinced. So to get a conviction, we study this particular psychology. So for that matter, this has a great multiple benefits. One, to increase your knowledge, and then the other two, to make sure that your life is more meaningful. Number three, that you're able to share this meaningful life with your family members, with all of the ascension beings who you are going to meet. So therefore, with that in mind, offering light is symbolic. It has nothing to do with the rituals. It's just a symbol. It's a symbol of igniting the light of the wisdom. So we all came here to learn something. Learn means we don't know something, and we want to get rid of this, the misknowledge, or we want to get rid of this, so lack of the knowledge, and to replace it with the knowledge. So this light is a symbolic of the knowledge, and in dark you don't know anything. So that is like the lack of knowledge or the ignorance. And offering the light, that dispels the darkness. So this is dispelling the darkness of ignorance. Okay, so with your mind, let's say this together 3 times, and then we come to offer the light. And meanwhile, say this 3 times. When we offer the light, we continue saying this. And imagine that you are doing this not only for yourself, but for your 2 parents. For your 2 parents, even if they're passed away, it doesn't matter. Think of them with you, and then all of the family members and all sentient beings living on the side. People there in China, Wuhan. So there, just think of all those people who are suffering, who are going through trauma, who are going through mental, sadness, mental anxiety. So let us include all of them with us, that they also, their miseries will come to an end through this. Okay, with folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered mysteries glow. Okay, thank you. Please come up. We'll continue saying this. Come up to light lamps. Come. Let's make it quicker. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions
to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries glow. I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. I beseech all directions to shine.
Okay, everyone should have the two books. One is the Buddhist Psychology, and the other is Pramana Vartika Chapter 2. There should be two books with you. Those of you who are already attending the Pramana Vartika, you should have your copies. Anyway, just for today, you need to have these two copies. One is Pramana Vartika Chapter 2, and the other is Buddhist Psychology. Oh, on to share. Okay. There are two different books. There are two different books. Okay, just for information about how this crash course come into being is because of we have Indrajit there, raise your hand. Indrajit here. And it has been like a few months since last year. And then this year, more emphatic, that he made a request that to conduct a short course, more intense, the intensive course. And then particularly the last year, when I was there in his center, and anyway, he is the founding director of Vajradhatu Center in Pune, and also the rehabilitation center. He's running two centers there, and the Vajradhatu Center is a very beautiful center. A rehabilitation center, you don't have to go. You can go only when there's a problem. But for the Vajradhatu Center, this is a center where all the teachings are happening from different teachers. And the Indrajit and his friend Rahulji, both of them, they started this center some years ago, and they really invested everything, whatever they have of their life, they invested everything to buy the land, then for the constructions, and they just put everything in there to benefit the people there. So now it is already flourishing, extremely good, and that would be a wonderful place for us to visit and do some courses there. And if you're interested, of course, you can get the more details from Indrajit ji, and we have the Shalmali there, and Tavishi there. Okay. So this is how this came into being, and given that this was the request made since long time ago, so I decided to do that, and then the fact that I came to know from the last 2-day conference that there are youngsters who are also interested in this. Okay, so this is how this course came to being. It's going to be quite intensive course, and be prepared that even the timetable can be changed. Of course, don't worry that if you're already there somewhere like Gurgaon or in Mashgutila, and then suddenly in 5 minutes, okay, now the class is happening, don't worry, that will not happen. At least like what is happening tomorrow will be informed today. Okay, so most likely I will check with our secretary Tinjala tomorrow. The time the because class in the evening, 5:30. So we do this class, maybe like afternoon. This what is in my mind, 2 o'clock to like 4, and then 4 to 5:30. I need a little time for the preparation for the next class. That is the what is that? Nalanda Diploma course tomorrow. Then the day after, Nalanda Master's course for 2 days. We will have the class at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Okay. And the morning free. And then the otherwise, the Friday, I'll check with the secretary. So what's happening on Friday? Okay, so but you'll be intimidated. You'll be intimated. You'll be intimated of the changes in the schedule at least a day in advance. Okay. So with this in mind, again, that this course, not just, of course, it has a rich intellectual rigor. The academic intellectual rigor is there. At the same time, this is intended not just for the sake of the knowledge, but to bring about a real transformation within yourself and through you, your family members, and everyone that you encounter with to really learn something. One. The number two is that what I noticed that where I travel, some people they are into philosophy, but given that they were not really exposed to a very systematic studies, there is always a lapse that we can see. So therefore, this course is going to be specialized in psychology, Buddhist psychology, and that is going to be very systematic studies. So what we do is that in order to reap the maximum benefit out of this, so in order to reap the maximum benefit out of this, what I expect is that don't just be complacent with attending the class. What is expected is attend the class, plus when you go back, do a little bit of revision. And if possible, okay, the Buddhist psychology here, there are the several points there, the Buddhist psychology, 7-point mind training, logic, debate, and collective topics. But we're going to focus more on the Buddhist psychology, and once in a while, where the need is, I will also pick up points from like logic, debate, collective topics, and so forth, and also from the Brahmana Vartika chapter 2, not the complete, but some of the sections here, particularly the intro part of this. Okay, so this is one thing. So with this, let us set up proper motivation that you grow in knowledge, plus the whole purpose of knowledge is to seek a meaning of life, not just for the knowledge, but seek a meaning of life. And particularly, given that we are studying it more systematically, what is expected is that later on you share this knowledge with other people, because this is extremely precious knowledge, which of course initially taught by Buddha Shakyamuni, later on sophisticatedly developed in Nalanda Buddhist monastic, the university, and then in Takshashila, Otandapuri, Vikramashila universities. So there, these are very sophisticatedly developed there. And this is what we're learning today. Okay, so with that in mind, setting a proper motivation. The great Tibetan masters, they say that two activities, Toktanyi la Chawani. Toktanyi la Chawani means that there are two activities, one at the beginning and one at the end. In the beginning, setting a proper motivation. At the end, dedicating the virtues properly. So if these two things happening, then the benefit that you can render to others is going to be tremendous. Okay, with that in mind, setting proper motivation, like you should say the Buddha Shakyamuni and all the enlightened beings who are so expert in the psychology, human psychology, not the psychology meaning how our mind works, and on that basis, how to bring about transformation in your mind so that your mind sees the most profound wisdom and the most expansive compassion, and that you with the motivation to share this, whatever you get in the form of inspirations from Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, with inspiration to share this with your parents, with your family members, with all different sentient beings. Visualize your parents and all sentient beings around you, and imagine that you're inspiring everyone to join this and to seek the blessings, inspirations from all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. And imagine that you are leading this and everyone is joining you. Page 3. Page 3 of the Blaze of Non-Dual Buddhism. This book, The Blaze. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. Practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no separateness, and no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas, and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all these hearers seeking pacification and complete peace, who through the knowledge of past courses those have been migrated to achieve aims of the world, help subduers expound a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. The teacher is to guard and protector, to you may pray. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations, and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay, let's recite this mantra. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato yavatat yesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaya swaha. Om ye dharma Tathagato Yavatat Desham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaya Swaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Desham Tathagato Yavatat Desham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaya Swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the causes as well is taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light, and non-composite. Such is the natural light Dharma I've discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching, in silence I'll return to the woods. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. Is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the three times obeisance. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are of the nature of suffering. All phenomena are of the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until an end extends billions of aeons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of the suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Okay. Psychology. Psyche. Psyche means the mind. Psyche, the study of the mind. Science of mind, study of mind. Logy is the study of mind. And why do we need to study? Why do the first in the text, page 19? Page 19. By the way, this is the compilation. This what we have here is the compilation from the very standard the Buddhist psychology texts that you find being studied in the monastic universities, in the big monastic universities. It's a compilation from there. Why study the mind? Why psychology? This is a very important point. And the one thing that I like to share with you is that one thing that I like to share with you is that the same why these studies become very important, like psychology, neuroscience, physics, the literature, then the paintings, then the music, then even the cooking, environment, business, whatnot. So why they are so important? This is very important for us to think of why the study of psychology. So if you look at the history of humanity, like the human beings first came to earth like 0.3 million years ago. 0.3 million years ago, the human beings evolved. And of course, if you go back in time, then 15 billion years ago, the scientists, what they say is like 15 billion years ago, this Big Bang happened. But there's a single Big Bang, multiple Big Bang, these are all debates. But what is conjectured, or what is what is speculated a little bit with reasoning, is that the universe came into being like 15 billion years ago. The human beings came into this earth like 0.3 million years ago. Billion and a million. 0.3 million years ago. And then at that time, what is human being? It was just very raw, very crude, just very basic, barbaric. Just like animals. The human beings have to fight with animals. You know, the human beings are much weaker than animals. Animals are very strong. And then gradually, but the only thing that they have is the psyche. The mind is very different. The mind thinking power is way different from the other animals. So that is the distinctive feature. Otherwise, in terms of physical body, the animals are much stronger than the human beings. So human beings, they're so weak. Then over time, they discovered the fire. Then they discovered how to build houses, small sheds, like, and then they discovered how to use clothes to keep them so warm, and how to hunt for food. So this is how they do it. And then gradually, okay, physically they become really strong. Then the mind, we see that people start to live in group. In group, they feel stronger. In isolation, easily can be destroyed or they can be eliminated. So they try to be in group so that they can live. They can support each other. That if there's a threat coming from the animals, the wild animals, then they can fight together in group. So they are stronger. And then in group, complications arise because thought process is involved in group. Right? And then this is mine, this is his, this is her, all these things come into being. Okay. In other words, after they are a little settled with the physical, then the mental started to play a role there, play a great role there at the mental. And then gradually these different knowledges they required, meant to make our life easier. These knowledges, they came into being and developed further. Okay, so this is how the various knowledge they came into being. Now, because this is going to be a very short course, I don't want to take too much time on this. Now the point is that finally, why all these the quest for this knowledge came into being? Because with the intention to ease our life, to make our life easier. You're getting it? To make our life easier. For some people who like music, then the sophistication of music came into being. For some people who are foodie, then the sophistication of food came into being. Then say for example, how to improvise somebody. Then the psychology came into being. Finally, all these things are meant to give rise to happiness and to get rid of your suffering. Let us not forget this. You're getting it? If somebody were to ask you, what's the meaning of life? What's the purpose of life? And many people, some people will say that nobody can define what the purpose of life is. There's no purpose of life. It's just how Charles Darwin said, it's just for the sake of the species to be continued, to continue the species, right? There's no purpose of life. This is according to Charles Darwin. It's just for the species to continue, survival of the fittest. This is how to survive, and then you keep going. This is what Charles Darwin said. Okay, now the point is that at the same time, the Buddha who appeared 2,500 years ago, Charles Darwin said that it's just continue the species. Of course, the species will continue, whether continue or not continue or not continue. This is not the point. The point is that it will invariably continue, provided there's no major threat coming. For example, like the pandemic, coronavirus. Right? We never know. It can just erupt all over the world and everybody disappeared. We never know. There are some like haunted towns, meaning that in the towns, or if you wouldn't believe, you go there, you will see that all the beautiful houses are there. You go into the houses, everything's intact, the table, Everything's intact. Everything's intact. Why not people live there? You're getting it? Everything's intact there. Okay. And the whole town is empty. Nobody's there. Once there were like hundreds and thousands of people living there, all gone. How come that they're gone? Right? Most likely because of some the epidemics, right? Because of these coronavirus, these, and then just killed everybody, and then people ran away from this place. What is that? Hubei? What is that place? Huh? Oh, Wuhan. Now people there, they want to leave. They want to run. But they cannot run because the government imposed a rule saying that you may spread the disease to other places. You cannot run. They want to run. Everybody wants to run away. In those days, there's no very strong central government in those days. So people run. The whole town became haunted. No one there living. Okay, so the point is that everybody is seeking happiness. Nobody wants suffering. This is a reality. Now, the question is that, okay, keep in mind, some of you, I know that you know my way of the teaching, and some of you, those of you who are new, you may not know. But the point is that sometimes it's going to be interactive. So interactive means that you should also take part in this class. So there, and then when somebody asks you, so this is the benefit of the knowledge. Why say the knowledge plays a very important role. So you have some thoughts which are not ripened, which are not yet developed so much, and then say with the help of the books or the other sources, then these questions are triggered in you. These questions are triggered. When these questions are triggered, then you think, and your thinking grows. Okay. So in other words, what I'm saying is that what we are seeking is we're seeking happiness. We want to get rid of suffering. And how many of you think it is true? Raise your hands. How many of you think it is true that I'm seeking happiness? I want to get rid of suffering. Raise your hands. Very good. Okay. So in other words, just take part in this. You're getting it. You must be convinced. You must become, okay, that's true. You're getting it. That's true. This is how we have to go. Otherwise, philosophy can become very dry. Psychology can become very dry. It doesn't mean anything, right? Okay. So the point is that you should be convinced. Only when you're convinced, you can make others convinced. You're getting it? Okay, that's very important. This is one thing. Then the next question. What would be the next question? What I said is that we all agree that I want happiness, I don't want suffering. We all agreed. Then what could be the next step? My question to you, right? When you said, I want happiness, or I want ease, I want fulfillment. Some say, I want contentment, I want fulfillment. What degree of happiness, what degree of fulfillment do you seek? 10%? 10%? 20%? Maximum? 100%? If possible. Don't say maximum. Don't say 100%. If possible, 100%. Why if possible? Why if possible? Hey, the Nishida was saying 100%. So I said, I modified it. I did not correct it. I modified it. It may be better to say if possible, 100%. Why I added this word if possible? Anybody? Anybody? We're not sure whether or not 100% happiness is what can be is achievable. You're getting it? So therefore we should be very realistic. We should be very realistic. we should be very objective and should be experiential. Objective so that what you learn tallies with the reality. And we should be very realistic. Don't fantasize. You're getting, we should be very realistic, something which we can actually achieve. Then number 3 is experiential, that you should be convinced. What I'm studying, yes, I'm convinced of this. Only when you're convinced, the moment we jump to a point which you are not convinced, then the link is lost. You're getting, a link is lost. When the link is lost, you will come with a question. These questions are very important. You're getting it? So that everything becomes very experiential. Why I'm saying this is that the people who are doing the Nalanda Master's course and Nalanda Diploma course, most of them, what I sense was that where travel, for example, just yesterday I came from Pune University. So there also, I listened to some of the presentations, and the presentations, they come up with some people who already learned Buddhist philosophy, psychology, and so forth. And then when the question answer is done from the public, questions are thrown, answers are not so convincing because there are so many missing links there. Because the people, they already listen to your talk, then they will ask those questions which they cannot connect between 2 points. So the link, they inquire this link. What is this link? They'll put that in form of question. If you're not convinced, you will not find the link. You're getting it? So therefore, the point is that those people, generally speaking, who are doing the master's course, diploma course, wherever I travel, when I ask some questions, answers coming from the people, very good answers coming, who can actually give you the link. Then very precise answers, correct answers, sensible answers. They are mostly those who are doing Nalanda Master's course and Diploma course. Why that is very special? It's because these people, they are studying very systematically. So therefore, the study of this very systematically is going to be very helpful. So therefore, what I expect is that not only we just listen to the talk, listen to this class, we also expect you to do a little bit of studying, and if possible, have some group discussion. You're getting it? On those of you who can, say for example, tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we'll have class in the afternoon, and then you can come a little early, like 1 hour, 1.5 hours earlier, have discussions, because the group discussions will be extremely helpful. What we discussed earlier today, then tomorrow morning, if you can come and do a little bit of group discussions, and of course, don't worry, after your class and your group discussion and Tibet House, the class in between, there is going to be lunchtime. So you'll get lunch from Tibet House, don't worry, because this is not an area where you can get lunch very easily. There's no eateries around. It's not so there's not much eateries available. So, but Tibet House will be happy to provide lunch for those of you who like to come for the group discussion. You can come for group discussion. You do some. So that'll be this is what I expect, because it's going to be a crash course. You're getting it, crash course, and from your effort is also required to make it productive. And Indrajit ji and then his 2 colleagues there, they came all the way from Pune just for this purpose. And the youngsters, I'm so happy that the youngsters are taking interest in this. And you can also take part in this group discussion. That would be very helpful. Okay, with this in mind, then the question is the question when I said that I want, the purpose of life is to get rid of my suffering and to have the maximum happiness. But what degree of happiness do you want to get? Or what degree of suffering you want to get rid of? If possible, 100%. 100% happiness or the maximum happiness. If possible, get rid of suffering and make it 0. If possible. What is the next question? Number 1 is whether or not it is possible. Whether or not it is possible. This is a very serious question. Whether or not it is possible. Then the next question, if my answer is yes, then you will ask me, how? You're getting it? Okay, so the answer is yes. Answer is yes. For that matter, we have to, I'm not going to go into detail with this, that we have to discover the true nature of your mind, psyche, the true nature of your mind. The true nature of mind is so pure, full of wisdom, full of compassion. It's so pure. That is known as the true nature of mind, or the Tathagata Garbha, the Buddha nature. And Buddha here doesn't mean the Buddhism. This is not a connotation. Buddha means the fully awakened one. Fully awakened one. Anybody who is able to remove the mental stains completely, you become the fully awakened one. You become the enlightened one. You getting it? Okay, when I use the word awakened, enlightened, it has some connotation of the religion. But it is not. You're getting it? So therefore, right from the beginning, I encourage you to make it very realistic, be very objective, and be experiential. Meaning that you have to experience it. You have to be convinced. You should be convinced of what you are learning. Whatever you learn, you're getting it. This is very important. Okay, now, well, the answer is yes. How yes? Because the seat of the perfection is within you. Where a seat of perfection, where the suffering is zero and the happiness is the maximum, it is within you. And feel free to ask, how can we know that? You're getting it? All these questions you have to ask. This is very important. Okay. Now, because of this, and the duration is very short, like 5 days. You're getting it? So it's going to be really intensive, and we expect your participation also. And if it's only my participation, then it's going to be like, let's say, 50% benefit, and then your participation is involved, then 50-50 is 100. You will get the maximum out of this short coming together. Okay. So if the answer is yes, on the basis of the understanding, there is a true nature inside. For example, okay, this is very important. Let's say that now Delhi is picking up the heat. Delhi is picking up the heat, right? Becoming hotter, in other words. Okay. So say that we're all very thirsty, and then you ask for water. So I grab the water. Let's say that who's from Majratila? Namsala. Okay, then Namsala get a water. Okay, don't worry, I'll bring water from Majratila. She get from the Yamuna River. From the Yamuna River, she gives you water. You want to drink it or not? Indrajiji, why not? Sharmali, you know Delhi. Huh? Davishi, you know Delhi. You know the Yamuna River. Okay, the point is that you will not drink it. Why not? Because it's polluted. It's dirty. You're getting it? Okay. Now, never mind. We treat this water through purification process, such as reverse osmosis, ultrafiltration, and so forth. And then the pure water comes out. This water comes out. You want to drink it now? Yes. All the bottled water that you get from the shops, they're like this. You're getting, where did this clean water come from? Where did it come from? Huh? From Yamuna River, right? But Yamuna River, the Namsala Broad is very dirty, right? It's not. Where is this clean water? Okay, let us not forget this example. You're getting it? I'll give you another example. Other example is that, okay, let's say a black charcoal, and I want you to make it white inside out. So what will you do? You remove the black part. Removing the black part, what happened to the charcoal? The charcoal will become white. Why not? The Nishida knows that. Okay, why not? Okay, Tenzil also knows that from beer class, right? Okay, so just when I ask these questions, it's very important for you to think. And if possible, give your answers. You're getting it? Give your answers. And don't think that he's looking for some technical answers, he's looking for some philosophical answers or psychological answers. No. more than your, say, philosophical, psychological, academic answers, any answer coming from your heart, that is the real psychology. You're getting it? That will help you to grow the study of psychology. Okay, so my question to you is, why the water, Yamuna River, water, from there, why, when you subject this to purification process, when you remove the filth, the dirt, the pollution, the water becomes very clean. Instead of water disappearing, water becomes very clean. With the black charcoal, instead of the charcoal becoming white, the charcoal disappears. Why? Anybody? Anybody who did not hear this concept the more than 2 times before? Anybody? Just speak your mind. Yes?
No, I've not heard it before.
Or the question is that with the water, dirty water, you remove the dirt, the water becomes very clean. With the black charcoal, remove the black part, instead of becoming white, the charcoal disappears. With the dirty water, the water does not disappear. Instead, the water becomes very clean. What's the difference? Where's the difference? Anybody? Kesanga?
Because of nature.
Oh, yes. So I know that you all agree with Kesanla. How many agree with Kesanla? With the water, the true nature of the water is very clean. It's not dirty, right? The true nature of the water is very clean. So when you remove the dirt, the true nature of the water comes out. Whereas with the charcoal, the intrinsic nature, the true nature of the charcoal is black. So when you remove the black part, you're removing the true nature. When you remove the true nature, then the charcoal disappears. How many agree with Kesanla? Raise hands. Yeah, so therefore you have the answer. You're a little apprehensive. If I give the answer, would he be happy, not happy? You're getting it? This is the answer. So therefore, what I'm expecting, I'm not expecting any complicated answers. I'm expecting what is there, what you're feeling. You're getting it? Only when you feel, okay, this is the answer, and he said it's correct. You're getting it? When that happens, then this is the meaning of experiential. Meaning that what you're studying, the psychology, will make sense to you. You're getting it? Okay. So with this, so this, our mind, unlike our mind, is it clean or not clean? Huh? Not clean. Oh, how do you know that? Sometimes easily anger arises, right? If somebody doesn't give you chocolate, you become angry. If somebody gives you a smaller chocolate, it makes you angry, right? If somebody gives you local chocolate and gives a Swiss chocolate to your brother, you're very angry. You're getting it? And somebody gives you Swiss chocolate and the other person gives an iPhone to your brother, you'll be very angry. So look, this is how our mind is. You're getting it? Our mind is so defiled. However defiled our mind is, the true nature of mind, luckily, that our mind is not like the black charcoal, it is like the dirty water. You get him? It's like the dirty water. And this, okay, at the moment I give you a very simple example because we have to rush through, right? It's just a few day course. So the point is that you should eventually be convinced. Anybody you encounter with, anybody to ask this question to you, how do you know that the true nature of mind is clean, pure, and so forth, right? You should be able to give the answer satisfactorily. You're getting it? Because there are many philosophical positions, psychological positions, which says that the basic human nature is the selfish, right? This is not true. This is not true. And some people they give the reason that, okay, this says with the clinical psychology, even in the rehabilitation centers, so there, all these discussions are bound to come. So that those people, they're quite realistic also. They're quite objective. But then to what extent they're objective, this is questionable. They said that look at the small child. Nobody taught that child how to be selfish. But most of the children are very selfish. Most of the children are very selfish. You agree with me or not? Okay, when you study the psychology, don't be too emotional. Right? Oh, how come the small children, we are just criticizing the small children? It's not about that. Be very objective, right? Small children, okay, how many you cried when you were first born? Day one you were born on this earth, how many you cried? How many you cried? How many of you think you cried? Right? You may say, how many you cried? I don't remember. Don't worry, how many you think you cried? If you do not cry, somebody will slap you. You're going to whine to make you breathe. To make you breathe. So therefore, we cried. When you cried, just imagine 7 billion human beings on this earth today. 7 billion human beings on this earth. And all of these 7 billion human beings, they cried the day when they were born. Why did they cry? I can say that for sure, like 99.9% of the 7 billion human beings, they cried because somebody slapped me, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm feeling cold. It's related to the self. You're getting it? Self. And in worst cases, some of the small children, as young as 1.5 years old, when they're able to express their feelings. So selfish. You're getting it? So seeing this, some of the psychologists, the philosophers, they say that the basic human nature is selfish. But this is, if you go deeper, you will say that no, the basic human nature is very beautiful. You're getting it? We have to acknowledge what they are saying. Don't deny that. Oh, every children, they are so pure soul. That's not true. Right? That's not true. People say, oh, pure soul. Don't be emotional when we study the psychology, when we study the basic, solid knowledge. Don't be emotional. Don't be carried away by emotions. You're getting it? Oh, why the small children? They're so innocent. Yeah, they're not so too innocent, but better than us. But they look, okay. The next one, if this is your true nature, where it's so pure inside, and then you can discuss, you can debate in a group discussion. But my mind is not pure. Where is this pure? If you take it out, do you see any pure water, pure mind there? How do you know that the true nature of my mind is so pure? How do you know there's all this you have to discuss? You're getting it? Okay, to really get conviction, it will take a little time for you to study deeper and more extensively of the Buddhist psychology. Okay, for example, we have here Chola Deshtojila here, who has been doing Nalanda Master's course for these 70 years, and he is fully there in the studies, and he can benefit a lot for all of us here. Okay. With this, the next question is, if the purity, final purity is within us, how can we make it manifest like the water? If the true nature of the Yamuna river is very pure, how can you make it manifest as a pure water? How do you do that? Subject the water to purification process. You're getting it? Subject the water to purification process, remove the dirt, remove the temporary nature, adventitious stains, and the true nature will become manifest. This is what Acharya Dharmagirdi, 7th century great teacher, the author of this book, Pramanavartika, this author, he said that Semgi Ranshin Veselva Timanamni Lupurva, the true nature of the mind is clear light. True nature, okay, you have to note it down. Don't just listen to me, note it down. Okay. True nature of the mind is clear light. The true nature of the mind is clear light. Mental defilements are adventitious. Mental defilements are adventitious. True nature of the mind is clear light, and the mental defilements are adventitious. So this is from this book. If somebody can flip through, not now, later on during your free time, if you can flip through this book, and you will, I say, those in bold from this book, those in bold, they are the root text. Others not in bold, they are the translators and the annotations and editions. Or only you can read just flip through the bold, you'll find it there. The true nature of the mind is clear-eyed. The mental defilements are adventitious. Adventitious meaning that they are not the true nature. You can remove them, and then true water will be left behind. Mental defilements are removed. Water is still left. What is that water now? Clean water. You're getting clean water. Purity. That is known as the pure nature, the true nature of the mind. Okay. So with this, now, this is very important. It is very important. Now, if this is what it is like, so how this mind attract the mental defilement, the pollutants? How did it attract the mental pollutants? Number one. Then the number two is that how can this mental pollutants, how can we subject this mind to the purification process? Just water is subject to the purification process, then the pure water, clean water comes out. Likewise, how can we subject this mind to purification process? For that matter, we see that, what we need to know is that if I'm always in a very dirty place, very, very dirty place, you're getting it, very, really, really dirty place, smelling so bad and everywhere, right, okay. How many of you have been to such places? It's really, really dirty. You cannot really stand there. Okay, anybody? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Sometimes it's good to go there, right? Good to go there. And then suddenly you come to Tibet house here. Wow, it's a divine. Wow, you're getting it? Okay. Whereas if you always go to places which are so extremely clear, meticulously clear, you come to Tibet house, oh, something's wrong. You're getting it? It's all relative. Now, the point is that finally what we are seeking is, okay, let's say, I'm tackling from various angles. One is finally that we, even to remove the metal dirt, is to achieve what? What's the goal? To get the maximum. Don't just say happiness. You already have some happiness, right? To have the chocolate, you have happiness. But you want a maximum happiness. And you want to get rid of the maximum suffering, right? So that's the goal. Now, how does the happiness arise? How do the miseries arise? You're getting it? So there, we see that the morning, okay, you wake up. And then your roommate, right? You wake up and your roommate said that, where's my money? Right? Where's my money means somebody stolen it. And only you are there. Indicating that you have stolen it. Right? Indicating that you have stolen it. Oh, where's my pen? Where's my bag? Where's my mobile? Where's my this, that, and so forth? Indicating that you have done it. Then whole your day is gone. You're getting it? So there, what is happening is that mental agitation arose. How did this mental agitation arise? How did it arise? You have to mind the subject where the agitation is happening. And then when you were fast asleep, agitation was not there. When you wake up, then the agitation arose. How did it arise? Anybody? How did it arise? What is the trigger? What triggered this agitation? Which environment? Your friend saying that somebody stolen my mobile, somebody stolen my money, right? That is the object. Your mind is the subject. your mind meets with that object, unpleasant object, and then that interplay of the object and subject give rise to the result, that is the agitation. You're getting it? Sadness. And suddenly your mother comes. Your mother is always defensive of the child. Your mother comes. And then, what happened, Namsala? What happened, Putila? Oh no, today my day, spoiled. What happened? And my roommate is indicating as though like I'm the thief. No, it can't be true. Then the mother goes to your roommate. No, my beta never does like this. Right? My beta is very good. Oh yeah, I know. Then you're very happy again. So where your mind, the psyche, meets with the conducive object, and then the resultant state of the mind is happy. In other words, say the mind, how it behaves as happy, unhappy, is determined by how the mind as a subject interacts with the object. You're getting it? When there's something wrong with the object, then it has the capacity to give rise to agitation and so forth. When the object is something nice, then it has the capacity to give rise to happiness, number one. You're getting it? Okay. Now, not only the object, the subject. Sometimes the subject plays a role. For example, say in the morning, right? So the earlier day, you heard about the good news that your mother was ill for like 1 month, and yesterday you heard the news that your mother is fully recovered. And it was like a magic. The whole night you were so happy. The next morning, your roommate says that, oh, the Pembasinla, you have some water, right? Thank you so much. Because your psyche, your basic frame of the mind is very happy from yesterday. With a very basic frame of mind, very happy, you meet with any object, the general tendency is that you will have happiness. Whereas your mind, I said yesterday somebody said that, oh, somebody stole the bag. There was only Pembasinula there, right? Then your whole the spiritual mind goes down. Spiritual mind goes down, and the next day your roommate offers you you like a glass of water. Then what do you say? You say then. Then you said there's no tea and there's no bad tea, right? So you're not happy with the water. You're expecting some bad tea. When your mind is not happy, why not a bad tea? You're getting it? He can't even give me a bad tea. She cannot even give me a bad tea. Okay, when the subject is not happy, then you interact with any of the object, right? Then the subject can remain as unhappy. So therefore, we see that happiness, unhappiness is determined on the interplay of the object and the subject. Now, object plays a very important role. Sometimes the object can change your mental state. Sometimes the mental state, if it is too powerful, object cannot really change it. Sometimes when it's not so powerfully sad, powerfully agitated, then the object can change the subject. So there's interplay between the subject and the object. Now, because object plays a very important role, okay, let's say that let's say I met with the two girls at two different times in two different places, both in the age like 20s, and the situation was very similar. And both of them, they were complaining about their mothers at different places, and at different times, not just at the same time. And then both of them were complaining about the mothers. Okay. So there, why? Because their mind interacts with the one situation of the mother. And that situation of the mother where the mother is scolding me or whatever reasons. Scolding me, mother is overprotective. Okay, your mind seeing the mother, the object, as overprotective, as scolding, then what is the outcome? Unhappiness. Then I told, okay, I said something, and the outcome of the mind changed drastically. They both of them started to cry. You're getting it? Cry to feel the mother's love. Right? I said something, and both of them, just the same, they started to cry. And then said that, yes, we regret. You're getting it? Okay. So what I said was that, okay, I agree with you, but you're already in your 20s. You're already a very strong girl. You're all very educated girl. I don't know who your mother is. But looking at who you are, from there I can infer that your mother did her best to help you when you needed your mother's help. Now it is you, already grown up. Now it is your job to repay the mother's kindness. Don't expect the mother's love anymore now. If the mother gives you love, well and good, you are lucky. If not, don't expect it. Now it is the mother should expect love from you. This is what I said. And then both of them started to cry, and both of them said, yes, I agree. It is my mistake. Yeah. Okay, tell me. Now, in the first case, there's agitation there. My mother was like this, my mother was like that, and so forth. And after I said something, then they said that, yes, yes. Now their mind cooled down and they're happy. Tell me, what is that thing that happened? Why the change in the outcome? Outcome of agitation or the outcome of the calmness? How this change happened? Anybody, very quick, before we retire for tea. Just give me some. Tell me. Change the perspective. Perspective of the mother, of the object. You're getting it? You see the information of the object, information of the mother. So with the mother, there are so many information. With the object, there are so many information. One is that the mother being overprotective, and the mother being, let's say, scolding, right? And the other, the mother being so kind. Being protective means mother don't want to see you end up in danger. It's only out of love. You're getting it? Seeing the love behind as the object, then your mind will calm down. Not seeing the love when when love is obscured by the being little overprotective as the object, then your mind becomes agitated. You're getting it? So this mind, how the mind behaves is because of the object. Object determines very important. So now to the object, if you have to, what I'm seeing, is this reality, the object. You're getting it? Object plays a very important role, subject plays a very important role for your happiness and for your sadness and for your anger. So the object, to know the object so thoroughly, because what we are seeing of the object, we exaggerate a lot. We superimpose a lot. We don't see the reality of the object. To see the object, the reality of the object, this is known as the study of ontology. Study of ontology, to know the object well. Now, not only the object, is the interplay of the object and the subject. You're getting it? With the same situation, some people can tackle things very easily. Some people can, even for a small thing, they become so hyper. For example, like, even with the major problems, we may be very agitated, and Tashi Dujila meets with the same situation, he will deal it with very tactfully and calmly. Tashi Dujila here, he's here. You're getting it? So we meet with the same situation, same object, but how our subject reacts to that subject plays a very important role. So for that matter, why? It's the same object, so the same very cunning person, and Trashik Dojila tackled it very nicely. He tackled it very calm, and even the cunning person changed his mind. And whereas in her case, we become hyper, right? How bad, how cunning. And then we become so agitated, and she's not at all agitated. He's not at all agitated. So the object is the same. What's the difference? And the subject, you're getting it? So therefore, there's a different subject. Now for that, how his subject, the mind, his psyche, and how my psyche, these are different. So therefore, it's not that there's the psyche, there's a mind, so therefore it plays. No. Within the mind, you see that there's a whole range of differences. So we have to study the psychology so well, study the mind so well. So the study of the mind is known as psychology. You're getting it? In other words, in order to really be, to see somebody as a counselor in the rehabilitation center, or a counselor as a clinical psychologist, whatever, or as in a family, as a mother, as a father, as a brother or sister, to counsel your family members, your friends. You have to have how successful you are is going to be determined by how profound is your knowledge of the ontology, and how profound is your knowledge of the psychology. You're getting it? So here comes the need for the study of this psychology, and of course the study of ontology, the philosophy. For the philosophy, the study of the ontology, we have we have philosophy, we have physics, we have chemistry, we have the basic biology, we have also these are for the study of the ontology. And for the study of psychology, we have the cognitive science, we have psychology, we have neuroscience. They all come to the study of the mind. You're getting it? Okay, tea break, then we'll come back. Okay, the half an hour tea break, then we'll come back. At 12 we'll come back. Okay, tea is right, I think. Right. The tea is right. In the adjacent room, the other side. Okay, please join us there. And during the tea break time, you can also have discussions. Yeah. Okay.